Now I do have one more question for you guys, and I'm wondering, eh, what else do we need? What else do you want to see in free agency? Because I'd like to see another guard, whether it be a starter or a backup. I'd like to see another starter so the Dolphins could go like a best player available type of mentality in the first round of the draft. But I understand if that's not in the cards right now. Personally, I'd like to see another guard and maybe a big running back. I don't know. But I'd like to know what you guys want to see the Dolphins do in the with the remainder of their free agency. Anthony, I'll start with you.
Gosh, dude, I was writing down like the list of needs, and it's still super long. We haven't
Yeah,
addressed
it
most
is.
of them at this point, but and I know this one's a little lower on the totem pole, but there's one name that I see on the free agent list, like you get all these people doing these top available.
Mm-hmm.
Azeez Ojulari is still available. If we
Mm-hmm.
can grab this guy, dude, like the rotation at edge rusher would be absolutely unbelievable. He's not a full-time edge rusher. That's why the Giants didn't re-sign him. They drafted him to be a full-time edge rusher. He didn't work out, but his situational edge rushing is fantastic, which is exactly what we need when we have guys who are often injured. We need rotational guys who can go in for a couple plays and make an impact. And Azeez Ojulari, I mean, he's that guy for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind seeing him here. I know we got into a big debate over Joey Bosa, and I was kind of out on an island on that one. Felt like you guys were ganging up on me a little bit.
We're all on your side now. He's a
No,
bill.
I'm just kidding.
No, but I will say this. It was not about Bosa. It was about the position for me, right? And we definitely need to add to that room, to Anthony and to your point in the chat, right? Bosa was the name, right? Because he brought name recognition, but I don't give a crap who it is. We just need to add someone.
I will
Fair
say
enough.
the most likely scenario is we do what we've done in the past few years with Greer and McDaniel is that we pick up a guy after June 1st.
Yeah.
Maybe Dante Fowler. Maybe we bring Agba back. I don't know. It's going to be one of those guys.
I love Judon as a situational pass rusher.
Yeah, Judon too. Yeah.
DeMarcus Lawrence.
Yeah.
There are a ton of guys.
He just signed today.
Did he really?
Did he?
He got a big contract.
Really?
Yeah.
Who did
Like
he
3
go
years, $48 million or something like that. It was pretty big.
to? Who
Jesus.
did he go to?
I don't even remember. That's how good my memory is.
I'm looking it up right now because
Well, why
He's
you
the
guys?
Seahawks. 3-year deal
Seahawks.
with the Seahawks.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. So fair enough. DeMarcus
Yeah.
Lawrence is out. Never mind.
That's way more money than I thought he was going to get. By the
yeah,
way.
yeah, me too. I
It's
thought he was going to
crazy.
get I thought he was going to get a Joey Bosa type of deal. Honestly,
Yeah.
1 year, $12 million contract. He's
Mhm.
33 years old. He's 4 years older than Joey Bosa. Josh, who would you like to see the Dolphins get in free agency?
Yeah, I have a couple names at the guard position that I would really love to see one of them come in. That's Brandon Scherf or Greg Van Roten. I've been a big fan of Greg Van Roten since last offseason. He was the guy I was banging the table on. If you guys remember, I wanted him to be brought in. I think he would be phenomenal, and he would be an instant starter at the right guard position, in my opinion. Brandon Scherf, a little older, seasoned veteran, knows what he's doing. Worst case scenario, you bring somebody like that in, you feel somewhat comfortable, at least more comfortable than Larry Borum, right? I mean, I think we can agree. I like Judon. Judon is a guy that I keep coming back to, like, maybe wait till phase, the third phase of free agency, see if you can lock him up on a 2-year, which is probably really more of a 1-year deal. Call it $8 million a season or something like that, $6 million a season. Just bring him and get him into the building and see what you have in him. Because when he was in his early years in New England, that dude was a monster, right? I mean, he knew where to be at all times, and I think having someone like that as like a break glass in case of emergency starter would be better than like Emmanuel Agba, right?
Bro, he tore us up. He was always wearing red sleeves too, so I always knew where he was in the lineup. I was like, here he comes.
He was hard to miss.
And I think the last position I would really love to see us kind of look at is the D tackle, right? I mean, whether I know there have been rumors that Miami has contacted Campbell and said, hey, we'd like to see you back. Calais Campbell is kind of deciding on his future, but there are some names out there, none of which I'm a huge fan of, but I got to admit, I don't really I'm not really well-versed in quite a lot of these defensive tackles that are free agents, but there's got to be one that fits Weaver's system. And I think, getting a veteran, I also think that is a position we should make sure to address early in the draft. But if you can get a veteran in next to, as a rotational player, even next to Steeler, I think that would ease minds, at least mine,
Yeah.
This has been such a heavily signed defensive tackle free agency class.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
if you look through the list, I mean, almost all of them have signed already. It's insane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The Eagles' momentum in that Super Bowl really shifted things for teams, I guess.
Yeah. And, we talked about Milton Williams getting that big deal from the Patriots. Jonathan Allen got a huge deal. From
Yeah, he sure did.
20
Yeah.
mil a year, dude.
Yeah. These guys, and that's
Even-
too rich for our blood. Like, I know we weren't going to be in the market for Jonathan Allen or Milton Williams. So they were just going to be making too much money. But it really drives home the point where it's like, geez,
Yeah.
like they
You're
got.
seeing Kinlaw and Hargrave also get paid too.
Yep,
and
exactly. Like,
It,
way
nothing
overpaid.
against it. It's just
even Grady-
like you were saying, Keith. That market is wild.
Yeah.
Even Grady Jarrett got 43 mil. Like, but
Yeah.
The
Jesus.
day after he was released, or the day he was released, it was crazy.
Yeah.
We could
So-
bring back big boy Raekwon Davis. You guys remember him?
I'd rather
Yeah.
not.
Taylor, who do you have in mind as far as the rest of free agency goes?
I'm gonna stick to the defense mostly here. In terms of edge, you guys brought up a lot of great names. Some one name I just want to bring up here, a little different compared to some of the guys we got. Preston Smith,
Yeah.
Okay.
Good one.
more of a
Yeah.
power rusher, brings
Mhm.
something, like I said, a little different from the explosive, speedy guys that we have currently. In terms of interior D lineman, Calais Campbell would be a great
Yeah.
get. He's one of the few players whenever I was looking at free agents to whereas, he's in his late 30s. Doesn't matter. I'm good.
No, I mean,
Whereas-
the way he played for us last year, he played like he was
Yeah.
28. Like, okay.
Yeah. Whereas, Josh, you brought up Sheriff. I like Brendan Sheriff, but he's getting on up there in age, and that's something to where I don't know if I'd be that interested in personally, but I get the appeal. I really do. At cornerback, just two names to throw out there: Asante Samuel Jr. and Rasul Douglas. Are out
It's
there
crazy
leading
to
the
me that
starter.
Samuels Jr. is still unsigned. It is
Yeah,
crazy
me
to me.
too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah. Rasul Douglas, I'll push back on a little bit, Taylor. I don't think he has much left in the tank.
Yeah.
He was never a guy that was super fast to begin with, and he lost a step last year, and it showed, especially towards the end of the
Okay.
season. Teams picked on him a lot.
122 QB rating against him last year.
Yeah.
I mean, we can bring back Noah
2023
Iganagani,
is
guys.
Noah.
good. I was looking at 2023. I wasn't really paying attention to what Rasul Douglas was doing last season.
2023, he was a borderline Pro Bowler. He might have actually been a Pro
Yeah.
Bowler in 2023, but last year he regressed. And again, he was a guy who was drafted by the Eagles, and he kind of spent a lot of time as a dime quarter, package cornerback, and then he went to the Bills and kind of just took off and really, really made a name for himself. But again, this is a guy who is more of a bigger physical guy, never super fast. And when these guys lose a step, you really see it. It really shows because they weren't all that fast to begin with. But Asante Samuel Jr., I wouldn't mind knocking on his door a little bit. Anthony, you had one more guy you want to talk about?
Yeah, I do wonder if Asante Samuels just priced himself out of the market or something. It's kind of crazy. He's not signed at
Yeah.
this point. Just if they want to revisit safety room again, I saw Justin Simmons is still out there, who played at a high level again last year for the Falcons.
Yeah.
And then Julian Blackman's out there too. So, two safeties
Yeah.
to keep an eye on.
That's
Yeah.
a good name.
Yeah.